Hi there again, YouTube. It's Vivian Moon for Vila Loon here. Part 2 of the Agrippa Flat World, Flat Earth series, and sort of takes us from the cosmology towards the disclosure. So we've discussed at some length the cosmology, the cosmic landscape, the sort of origins of what's going on this planet. We've discussed entropy, we've discussed chaos, we've discussed maths, we've discussed a lot of cosmology. We talked about dark energy, we talked about sine waves. We've talked about entropy escaping from the cosmic plasma with sine waves and then being followed by the cosine, and the many tangents at which this has taken place, and how that we are in one region of this cosmic landscape with a certain set of defined coefficients that allow for the laws of the physics that we enjoy in this part of the cosmos. And we discuss how that parallel with this region of the cosmos there are other regions parallel with this, and we haven't discussed so much how the interactions are made between the different regions. We have so much as to say that on the planet of Earth where we live, there's more than one agency at work here. I'm now going to move on towards the disclosure end of the conversation, which is more to do with so in the same way that the energy cycles that we use, such as farming or agriculture, where we sort of limiting the information available to animals to make them easier to farm. That is essentially the principles of disclosure, being as that we've we've made ourselves easier to farm by having the information that's given to us limited. And so essentially you've got the recorded history where we can go straight from Egypt. We've got the we've got the original. So we can go through Egypt. We can talk about the empires. We can talk about essentially the information. Once we've got that together from the cosmology side of things, understanding that not everything on this planet, or understanding the agenda behind what's on this planet, and from that point, once you've got some sort of idea of the agenda on this planet, so it's ways something. I'm not 100% sure where the agenda is going myself. I'm speculating that it's something to do with being able to continue in time and being able to incarnate on this planet and to control or to influence what carnates on this planet. And there are a number of agencies that are aiming to carnate here. One of them is archetypal of order and maths, the other is archetypal of chaos and entropy. So they are manifesting inside the tangent from which I am from, and from where my mum's from, I'm not 100% sure that my dad is from 100% human origins. I don't think there are very many people that are. And so I do believe that most people have got some influence from an extraterrestrial species within them, and some influence of their human as well. I feel particularly non-aligned to either side on this one. I do feel more tangential than sine or cos, and so yeah, that's really where my stake in this comes. I'm definitely not partisan to the chaos and order war. I really am literally evolved here. I'm not here to win any wars. I just happen to think that the visitors that are on this planet are quite amazing. I think they're in both ends of the spectrum. You know, there's a lot that I've learned from both ends of the spectrum. I know which ones I feel more sustainable, which ones I prefer working with, which ones I prefer as I say, there's a lot I've learned from both species of alien and the various degenerations of those species that exist. I like them, I love them, in fact, I love them a lot. So it's not necessarily, it would be great fun to go through all the history, because that would be great fun. However, I'd rather skip the history, go back to the Agrippa. So how a lot of the modern shape of things are now is no accident. They took a long time to plan things to be the way they are, and one of the means that was we're moving away from cosmology to disclosure is through, in the 16th and 17th century, through the use of the printed word. Information was able to circulate through certain groups in the time used the institutions or religious churches, Catholic churches, who would be given access to certain books that had information on an agenda that had been played out, and that obviously it's not the sort of information that, if you're mass printing directions on how to control a population, the way that that's done without becoming too obvious is through steganography. And so Agrippa uses a lot of cosmologic principles to hide in the three occult principles of occult philosophy. Within that, he hides a lot of information about what is what. So there's information in there about the colonization of America, various information about French Revolution, American Revolution, a whole bunch of stuff about equal rights. It's essentially postmodern history written in words that basically is written in euphemisms and steganographic codes. So it's a great book, Cornelius Agrippa, and so he he brings the conversation away from cosmology, which is discussed within his book, and within the discussion of cosmology he also uses that to describe so these books were passed around the church, so they all get to read whether it was acceptable or not to read, and through the so only select members of the church will be able to read these sort of materials, and there's primers that have keys to it so that you can back engineer what's actually been said. Hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I'm probably going to see you again soon in another video.